All right, hello, my name is Shelly and I'm the creator of this channel, True Sky Astrology. I want to welcome you here to this video today. I want to welcome you here to this space and place. I just want to welcome you here. Now, if this is your first time being here, thank you so much for being here. And if you are a returning subscriber, as always, thank you for being here. Without you, this channel is nothing. So, True Sky Astrology, this channel, and what I'm sharing here is really in relation to my recent transition from Western tropical astrology into True Sidereal Astrology. So I've really been sharing videos from my heart and, my soul really about my transition and what that was like as I shifted from this lens of myself and the world around me into a completely and totally different lens of True Sidereal Astrology. Now, if you just find yourself here on this video and you're like, what is True Sidereal Astrology? True Sidereal Astrology, just quickly, is where the planets actually were in alignment to when we were born, right? So most of us know our planets in our birth chart, but they're the true position of the planets in relation to our birth chart and in relation to how we're living every day. So True Sidereal Astrology reads the real-time sky. So the new moon placement is likely going to be very different than what you've perceived it to be or what mainstream says it is, because Western tropical society if it's a society, sure, has a system that reads the planets not on where they actually are, but on the system and how it interprets and breaks down the planetary alignments. So True Sidereal Astrology is really just about where the planets actually are. That's what it is. And it's really important and valuable. If you're looking to learn more about it, please go through my other videos. But this video is the second video of our series where we're digging into the different houses in our charts. And we're digging into the second house today. So this video is going to be centered energetically, mentally around the second house. Now, I remind you, if you're here, I remind you to come in with the beginner's mind. So I'm not coming on doing these videos trying to blow your mind with facts about the first house, second house, third house, any of the houses, but rather I'm connecting in energetically and I'm sharing and speaking from that viewpoint. So if you want to learn a bunch of analytical facts about the second house, you can go search that on YouTube and you'll find a lot of that. But however, today we're digging into the second house from an energetic component. So I'm not going to go deep into what's ruling the second house. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to just be basic in how we hear it, but incredibly powerful in how we feel it, right? So the second house is that house of I have. And if you watch the first house, if you're here watching the second house, I recommend that you either go back and watch the first house interaction, activation, whatever the heck we're doing there, and then come back, or watch this one and then go to the first house, okay? But perhaps you're here and you've searched up second house astrology and you want to know more about it. So think of this. The first house is the I am, right? And I related it to that root center, right? It's the I am, it's the base, it's the root, it's the starting point for everything that we do, that we create, how we share ourselves and show up in the world around us. Now, the second house is the house of I have. So it's what we attract to us. It's what we bring to us. It's what we hold in our space, in our environment, and not just our physical world, but our emotional world, our spiritual world. That second house of I have is really powerful and potent. So just as we did in the first house, I want you to know, what zodiac do you have in your second house? And I'm not necessarily saying what planets. Maybe you have planets there, maybe you don't, but we all have a second house, and there is an alignment with a certain zodiac in that second house. what's in your second house. What is that zodiac? What is that energy presenting itself to you, right? In relation to your emergence onto planet Earth from your mother's womb, right? What energy is there? That energy is going to be correlated to what you have in your world, how you pull it in, how you utilize it, and even how you express it, kind of, right? The house of I have is really, I want you to think about what you have. What do you have in your physical world, right? Again, lots of times people see the second house and they go, like, they literally just think literal, like, what do I have? Like, what is, what kind of house do I have? What kind of, what do I have in that way? But again, like, even on a deeper level, what do you possess spiritually inside of you? What do you have spiritually, right? What gifts, what knowledge, what wisdom do you have? What's special about you? What emotional powers do you have? What do you have, right? And again, when we look at that house of I have, just like all the other houses, we have these expressions of high octaves and low octaves. And what I'm really working with in these videos is the high octave expression. We want to focus because we are the creators of our reality. We decide how these energies move through us, translate, and get expressed out into the world, right? So what are the high octaves of what I have? So when you go into thinking what you have, what lens are you looking at what you have with, right? So many people are not satisfied with what they have. And again, a lot of the times the outside world tells us, right, what we see in media, what we see in our culture, what we see others around us doing, all of these things, they tell us not to enjoy what you have, to always strive to hit more, right? So yeah, the messaging comes at us and it's tricky, but we're not victims here, right? Especially if you're here on my channel, we understand that we are the creators. We are in charge of how we utilize this energy. So I invite you to look at what you have, even if it's not the end all be all of what you want to have, from the lens, the highest octave lens, because we all know what we focus on, we create, right? What we're thinking about, projecting, we create from. So if we're looking at our house of I have with lack, with disgust, with all of those lower octave things that are very normal and typical, so don't judge yourself if you're doing that, but let's shift it. Let's be energetically sovereign. I feel like I'm going to go into that a bit. We are energetically sovereign when we decide to be. When we decide to be energetically sovereign, so I'm no longer looking at the world around me, I'm no longer looking at myself and what I have and what I hold from the lens of anybody else. Anybody else. I don't care who you are to me. Nobody has authority over me. Nobody gets to speak into my life to tell me what to do. I get to decide. Okay? So that I have space is very powerful. They all are, right? All of our houses and all of these deep dives are going to be really powerful when we connect to them. There's no house that is more important. There's no aspect of ourselves that is more important than the other. But again, we look at that first house, that I'm exuding, I'm being, I am, right? And then I have. So if we have problems in our I have, if we're coming from a place of like, I just don't like this, I hate this, I'm angry, whatever, or other people are judging me and I feel small, or I feel this, or possibly I have everything but I'm still fucking miserable, right? That can be another thing that happens as well. So it's like when we come from that I have with gratitude and grace, right? I have around me all this beauty. I choose to focus on the positive things that I have and that I hold. And the negative things that I'm not happy with, that I don't want, or that I'm whatever, I trust that when I'm in my power and I'm holding myself, that those things are going to dissolve because I'm no longer holding them. When you understand, and I understand, and we all understand that we are the creators, everything we have, we've created and we've made space for, right? When we understand that and we really anchor into that, then we can make the room for what we're holding to shift, right? We can make the decision to focus on what it is we truly, truly want to focus our I have on, right? So if I have love, I have spiritual connection, I have wealth, I have all of these things, and I'm focused on that I have and I attract, right? These beautiful things, they're going to come in. Now, one of the questions can be like, oh, that's lovely, Shelley, that sounds beautiful. But what about the things that are like, I have debt, I have this, I have that? All those things are real. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't have, but it's how you attach. Is it a problem, right? So I have debt. Feel that. It feels fucking terrible, even if you own money. And I'm getting intense with this one and swearing a little bit, which is interesting. But let's look at it different. If I'm going to claim and own that I have debt, what is that actually? That feels energetically like I'm in locks and chains, but you're not in lock and chains. How about this? I have access to resources that have supported me when I've had nothing. I have, right, changing the way that we look at that. And I have a brain and I have energy to attract more overflow into my life. Stefan Lovegrow, this is for you, from you, thank you. I have overflow in my life to easily clear that, right? To clear that quote unquote debt. Debt is not the end all be all. Who fucking cares? Oh, see, I'm getting intense. This is interesting. So I don't know who I'm speaking to, but whatever message is coming through about this, we really, like, I feel like Spirit, God, Source, Creator, whatever we want to call it, really wants us to put in perspective what we're creating from and what we're viewing what we have as, right? We got to get out of this trap of feeling stuck, of feeling, even I have terrible relationships, right? You might have some terrible relationships, but where are the good? I have amazing, like this is an example, amazing children. I have amazing relationships with people that love me and can see me. I create a world with people that love and see me. If we start shifting our lens and operating from the I have in the high octave, lots of times those crappy relationships will shift, or if they can't shift, they'll just disappear. They have no place, right? But don't focus on that. Focus on the high octave of what you have. So whatever zodiac is attached to your second house, really learn that zodiac. Go into it, study it, look at it. And again, True Sidereal, right? Go to, in my link, if you don't know your True Sidereal chart, go in the link below and look at Mastering the Zodiac. There's a free birth calculator that will put your planets together so that you can see what's in your seventh house. And if you look on this video, on this side, I have a chart that explains the different planets and the symbols so that you can begin to at least look at the chart, say, oh, there's the second house. There's the symbol. What is that symbol? Oh, okay, that is, right? Maybe that zodiac is Scorpio in my second house. That's what I have, right? So hopefully that helps and you can begin to do that, because it's going to be really important to learn that, to learn what energies are helping and supporting, or that you came in with connected to that second house of I have, right? So if my second house is in Scorpio, it's going to be like, I have I have the energies and the high octaves of Scorpio working with me. I have this ability to feel beyond, to go and see beyond and be beyond the surface level, right? Look at the high octaves of Scorpio and even the low octaves, because then maybe you can understand how I'm so destructive. It's like, oh, right. If I'm taking that ability to see beyond and create beyond, but I'm coming at it from a destructive, negative lens, that is not going to be good, right? That is not going to be what I desire or what I want or what I create with, okay? So feeling into that house of I have, you have, what do you have? Feel into that. The second house of I have. I look around me as I'm speaking this and I'm feeling this, like I have so much wealth. Not necessarily my bank accounts are like going to whatever, but it doesn't matter. I have wealth. I have an abundance of love, of connection, of people, of diversity, of skills. I have gifts. I have abilities. I have talents. Like I have all of these things. Now I'm going to create from them, right? I'm going to sit in the high octaves of them. All the things that are problems, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have whatever, they're minuscule compared to the blessings in our world and in our life, okay? So this is the second house of I have, part of our pie, part of all these energies working with us, and a very vital part. It comes right after the I am. So if we're out of whack in these beginning, right? If you think of like all of these energies working together, coming from the front all the way further back, right? We need to have these first ones, especially grounded in. And I'm telling you, if we ground in those first 4 houses, if we have them locked in and we know who we are and we're holding our I am in the first house, we know what we have, we see the blessings, we hold them, we create from them, we attract and bring in more, we share with others more, right? And then we go to that third house, which is the house of I think, which we'll dig into the next video, right? And then the building of the fourth. If we get those in check, right? And we have those, we're going to be able to go into 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th easier. Like almost like with so much ease, because we got the base there, we got the roots there, and we're creating from that point, right? Like how cool is that? It's absolutely amazing, okay? So this is the house of I have. I invite you, when you're done this video, just take a minute and sit with what you have. Look at that. And when you are thinking about any problem, any bill, any lack, anywhere where you're falling short, deal with it the best you can, right? And I know that some people have overflow and bills aren't a problem and this isn't a problem, right? But some people do. And some of you watching this are. Deal with what you can deal with the best you can deal with it, instead of blocking it, right? If you can't pay a full bill, go deal with it and deal with what you can. Call them and say, hey, I have this, but I can pay this on this day. Maybe you don't even have the money on that day, but you can at least begin to move towards figuring this out without stress. I have creativity. I have a voice. I have authority. I have autonomy. I have a say. I've done nothing wrong, right? Again, create from the point that you want to create from. And those of you who have overflow, and you have so much, right? You have so much wealth and abundance that, like you don't even care anymore. And maybe you've lost contact with the people and the things that you love the most, right? You look around you and you have physically everything you have, but you feel empty inside. Go back to I have connection. Focus on that. Build it. If you're not feeling it and putting it out, you're not going to be able to create it and have it in your world and in your life, okay? So thank you so much. Please let me know in the comments, what did you think of this second house, whatever this is, right? And again, I'm not going into the details of astrology. If you want to know who's ruling or what's ruling the second house, go ahead, look into it more. But I'm talking the energetic activation frequency. Let's set the intention that magical things happen from watching this video. What's in your second house? I'm hesitant right now because I'm trying to think what is in my second house right now, and I don't know, because off the Western tropical, my second house was in Scorpio, and I forget what it's in, so I'm not sharing with you, because I'm like, oh god, they can't know what my second house is because they might mess with me. Again, here's my little intuit with True Sidereal Astrology. When we're connected and we're aligned with the true placements of our astrology, our birth chart, we don't have to worry about people messing with our chart, because it's truth. And when something is bold, hard truth and we're owning it, nothing can mess with it. They can try, but they can't mess with it, because it just is. They can only manipulate and mess with and mangle things that are not truth. So that's my own kind of thought. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Yeah, again, leave a comment for me. I love reading your guys' comments and responding to them. It really helps out the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click the notification bell and you will be alerted when I share a new video. And that's everything. Have the most beautiful day, and I look forward to the next deep dive on the third house. Bye-bye.